Commissioner Reisinger? Commissioner Bennett? We have a quorum.
Excellent. Can you guys all stand and let's do the Pledge of Allegiance?
Commissioner Reisinger? Commissioner Bennett? We have a quorum.
Excellent. So first one is approval of the minutes. If I can get a motion. Thank you. And I'm going to need a second. Excellent. All those in favor? Aye. Awesome. And no public comments tonight, Lisa?
There were no public comments.
Excellent. Now we're back to old business. We're going to talk about item 3A is the Economic Development Strategy Plan.
Thank you, Commissioners. It feels like I've been up here recently. Just to continue, the City of Kingman Economic Development Department in 2019 went about an economic development plan. And we've been working on that for the last 5 years. We've completed a lot of those items. There are some items that are still, in process, and there are some items that we probably haven't gotten to yet. And so staff looked at the economic development plan over the last year in regards to updating it and refreshing it, taking off the items that weren't relevant anymore. And we worked with the commission on that. Not all of you had been present during that time, but many of you have been. So we did send that out to the commission. A lot of comments came back. Those were implemented in the plan. This is the plan that with those changes. And so what we would like to do next is take those changes and revise the plan, send it to council for their approval. With the short-term goal to work with those changes over the next year to 2 years, and then budget in the next year or 2 years the amount that would be required to do a new hired consultant and officially revise the whole plan. Take a look at it. There's a lot of changes in the city. There's a lot of new things that we've all been part of that are happening that weren't happening back then. We've got streetscape. We've got a land release on 760 acres. We've got new rail infrastructure. We've got new tourism items going through. So it'll be a good time within the next year to 2 years to look at potentially doing that again. So with that, I want to turn it over to you guys for any questions or comments and moving this forward.
Awesome. Does anybody have any comments, questions for Mr. Bradley?
Yes, Deborah.
Hi, Bennett.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. So the study are you talking about a study that was done in 2019, or you're talking about it was being revised in 2019?
Yeah, so in 2019, the economic development plan was done in 2019.
Okay.
Right about, first the department was formed, and then they thought that we should have a plan for this department to go forward
Okay.
with.
And did we hire a consult firm then?
Yes, we did.
Okay. So that wouldn't apply now, the same consult?
So
Can I interject? So this is the plan that we were looking at in April, Deborah,
I remember.
and making revisions to get to the point where they're going to do a study here in the next year or two.
Understood. I'm just saying if we already had a consult firm that consulted in 2019 and made a plan, then you're saying this is so much different, we need to hire another consult firm to do it again 4 years later?
I'm not saying, we're not to that point yet.
Okay.
So our thought is in the future, the next
Okay.
year or two, we'd look at hiring a consultant. It would have to be budgeted, you know, and it would go through that process, be discussed in the future. Do we want to do it? Do we not want to do it? Do we want to stick with just this? You know, those are all things that will
Oh,
come
cool.
up then.
Would this commission have a say in that? Would they be involved in the?
I would imagine,
Consulting,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I see this commission being part of that, yes.
Okay, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But the point here is we've made these revisions, but we can't act on these revisions until they're approved by city council. So,
Understood.
Yeah, this plan
We
was
need-
approved by city council, so we're changing it.
Yep.
And so we need to give it back to them with our edits and moving this forward until, you know, next steps down the road.
Yeah,
Right.
I remember when we met in April and we went through it
Yeah.
step by step and eliminated, there was so much. I mean,
There was a lot of things that we accomplished.
yeah, there was a lot of things accomplished and there was a lot of things that no longer pertain to us anymore.
Yep.
So I get that. I'm just trying to get clear on, you know, hiring consults. It's not my favorite.
Yeah, we're not asking to do that right now.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay,
Not yet.
thank you.
so everybody should have received a copy of this and had a chance to read through it to see what the revisions were. The idea is hopefully we can get a motion to approve the changes that we have, to send them to city council to have them review it and hopefully approve it then for the EDC.
I make a motion to approve the changes that were made. Is that what you're looking for right now?
Or discussion, like either way.
Okay. Anybody else have a question? Okay. I make a motion that we approve the changes and move forward to city council.
Okay,
And I second the motion.
excellent. With the motion, no further discussion, so all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion's going to carry. I think the first item on new business is actually not you, Bennett.
Yeah.
I know you normally get to dominate the
Yes,
podium.
you go ahead.
So if we can invite Miss Becky Fossen up. She's going to be our guest speaker from the Kingman Chamber of Commerce today.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. I kind of feel like I'm speaking to the choir here, but here goes. Maybe we'll all learn something today, right? So I was asked to make a presentation about what the Chamber of Commerce does, so here we go. The Kingman Area Chamber of Commerce is a nonprofit organization funded through memberships and events, which is important because a lot of people think we are part of the city, and we're not. Our mission is to promote business through education, partnerships, and networking. We currently have 515 members. 6 of them are gold members, 15 silver, 19 bronze, 352 classic members, 17 of which pay a monthly fee. 77 are nonprofits. We have 12 individuals and 34 trade members. And most of our trade members would be like radio stations, newspapers, and other chambers of commerce or such like associations. Our staff currently consists of myself, the CEO. Amy Wade is my executive assistant. Have Alyssa Berg, who does media and accounting. Jen Hayes does membership and community outreach, and Shelley Sparks is our receptionist. And then we have 2 volunteers, Linda Miller and Kathy DiGiulio, that work for us pretty much every week. And then we are governed by a board of directors. We have 11 members. Our chair at this time is Kim Bilbray. Lori Voss Barthrow is our incoming chair. Tom Clark is our new treasurer as of this morning. Bob DeVries and Tammy Ursenbach and Rita Zumwalt is our immediate past chair. That's our executive board. And then we have Stacy Klippenstein, Robert Tilley, Michelle Christ, Scott Kern, and Chris Vineyard. And the last 2 there are brand new board members as of this morning. So we had some changes there. So as far as our mission, education, partnerships, and networking, I'm going to break that down. To education, we partner with Mojave Community College. I think you all know we live together. So we are partnered with Community and Corporate Ed to offer the Workforce Excellence Series. We also partner with SBDC, SCORE, Wave JTED, and Achieve 60. We host the Reality Store, which is an interactive game of life for 8th graders. And we also work with MCC on the Bighorn Trek, which is a career pathways and community workforce event. For partnerships, we feel we are the hub of the business community. On a local level, we work with Kingman Main Street, Kingman Downtown Merchants Association, CAMA, Arizona at Work, Kingman Golden Valley Association of Realtors, MSTEP, the Mojave, MHRT, I'm so used to the acronyms, I can't think of what it stands for, Mojave Health Resource Team, and of course the City Economic Development Team. On a statewide level, we partner with Local First Arizona, AAED, which is Arizona Association of Economic Developers, the Arizona Chamber Execs, Business for Water Stewardship, and our legislature. Regionally, we partner with WACE, which is Western Arizona Chamber Execs, and then we've also created the Quad State Alliance, which is the chambers of the entire Quad State area. When I started 4 years ago, it was the Tri-City Council. We had Bullhead, Kingman, and Havasu, and we've expanded to the Quad State area, so we're pretty proud of that. AAED, I sat on the Government Affairs Committee and also on the Rural Committee. And then, of course, we work with Kingman Main Street and Kingman Downtown Merchants Association. We did the road trip day. We did the walking tours. We host the cookie crawl, hop and shop. We are the ones that pulled First Fridays back together and are doing that. And then we also help to spearhead getting the streetscape project done. Arizona at Work, we work with them on job fairs and hiring events. And of course, I mentioned the Quad State Alliance earlier. And we work on regional things that impact the region and get together and share our challenges and success stories. And then as far as networking, that would be our chamber mixers, our open houses, our ribbon cuttings, and all of that is to support and promote our local businesses. So the way we do all of that is through our committees. So our first committee would be our ambassadors, which meets the second Tuesday of every month at 5:30 at the chamber office. That is an in-person meeting only, and they are the committee that does all of the social events for the chamber, our fundraising events. They assist us in all of our projects and just everything that we need to do. They're kind of the backbone of the chamber. And then our next committee would be our Business and Government, which meets at 7:30 in the morning every first Thursday of every month, and that one you can be in person or by Zoom. And this committee explores and addresses legislative issues of importance to chamber members and the business community. We typically have a speaker every month, and then we do a roundtable discussion. We have a lot of business owners and a lot of government department heads that are there, so we can kind of share what's going on in the community. And some of the recent topics that we have addressed there, we do every year the state legislative agenda. We go through that. We helped with getting broadband to the area. We have addressing water issues, which is the new gold in this area, and then just other local interests, topics of interest, like what's happening with I-40 and any other local topic going on. We also have the Young Professionals Group. Local First Arizona identified the need for a Young Professionals Group in this area. It was one of the things that's lacking. So we have created a group called CORE, which stands for Kingman Outreach Regional Engagement. We're working with MCC and some of their student groups to try and get that going so that we can keep our young professionals here in the community, keep them engaged, and hopefully they will stay here. Then, of course, our economic development and tourism, we work very closely with the city economic development team. We partnered together, really started back in the COVID days of Stronger Together and our Shop Local program. We also helped spearhead the Prop 416 initiative where the city couldn't promote that. We were able to do that for them and get the word out to different organizations. We also assist each other at all of the parades, 66 Fest, the Fun Run, and cross-promote each other's programs. We also go out and do like member or business visits just to find out what problems are facing different businesses and offering information of the programs and assistance that's available. And then with the Main Street and downtown merchants, also CAMA and the Realtor Association, we work on the initiatives like Live After 5, our trail cleanups, our walking tours, any issues that are impacting the business communities. We worked again with the Realtor Association on some local taxing issues, and they also partnered with us on that Prop 416. So the value of being a chamber member, we also hand out those relocation packets. I gave you all one of those. We give those out to people moving into the community for information on where to go to get services and things like that. We also give them out to businesses for recruitment tools, so when someone is moving here, they know where to go to find the services and the things going on in the community that they want to know about. We are about an advertising agency. We send out anything that you've got going on social media, of course, Facebook posts. We have our directory, web pages, our Kingman connections, e-blast, flyers. We hang up everything in the Beale Street windows. We work with the Business Buzz. We are currently on all the local radio stations, at least monthly, if not weekly, on KNTR, Cameron Broadcasting, and Murphy Broadcasting. We've partnered with Everything Kingman, so all of our members are in the directory there. Of course, back to our ribbon cuttings, open houses, and chamber mixers. We provide notary services. We do fingerprinting. We have maps. And we do all of that. For a classic membership, it's $300 a year, which breaks down to only $25 a month. And then we offer enhanced packages that include more sponsorship dollars and things like that if you want to be involved at a higher level. That would be those gold, silver, and bronze members that I mentioned earlier. And we are really excited to say we are implementing a new program called Chamber Nation, where each member will get a web page pop out. It's almost like an Amazon page that each member will get. That will hopefully be available right around the end of the year. We're going to be working on that over the holidays. And I just wanted to give a huge thank you back to the beginning of my days 4 years ago when I started this, to Gary and Ron Foggin, who pulled me in and said that having a strong chamber makes a really strong community, and they have really worked very closely, pulling us into part of the team and really working together to make all of us, I think, more successful. So with that, if there are any questions? No? Okay.
I have a question for you, Becky.
You do? Okay.
Of course I do. So, from the ED Commission standpoint, what can we do that would help you? Like, as far as how can we support you in your endeavors, as it seems you are a very busy woman.
I think we're all very busy people. I really think just involvement. I think just keeping us involved, keeping us informed, and how can we work together? And, you know, whether it's going out and doing those business visits, or sharing resources on advertising things. Like we just bought an ad in the production, the Business View magazine that you guys will be doing. I think just staying involved and staying connected, I think, is the main thing that we can do. And how can we help each other? So
Sounds great. Thank you so much.
with that, I do want to invite all of you. We have 2 ribbon cuttings coming up. Today at 4 o'clock, Restoration 1 at 116 South 2nd Street, so just right across the street there. And then also on December 1st, ARC, where they had the fire, they are ready to open back up again, so 9 o'clock on December 1st. And I just want to say the businesses really appreciate when you show up at their ribbon cuttings and their mixers. It really means a lot to see the faces of the commissioners and our city council. So I just thank you all for being involved and supporting our businesses.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, we're going to move to item 4B, which is the AAED Fall Forum.
Thank you, and thank you, Becky. The chamber really does a lot, and as you could tell from the long list, and so anything that the city can do to support the chamber, we're here to do that. So I wanted to move on and do an update about, Becky had mentioned AAD a few times in her presentation as being a member. We are also a member, and our team is on various committees. Terry was on the Fall Forum Committee, which recently took place, and that's what I'm going to talk about a little bit, and give you an update on what we did and those of us that were able to attend that meeting or that conference. So those that attended were Chairman Gish and Chairwoman Gish and Chairwoman O'Neill, and Vice Chair O'Neill. Also myself, Terry, and Sylvia were in attendance. And the conference was titled Ready, Set, Grow, Readiness and Renewal. And this is a brochure from that. It occurred on October 25th through the 27th at the Little America Hotel in Flagstaff. The city of Kingman was a platinum sponsor for that event. And what that meant is we had our logo information throughout the event. We also had a table there with a lot of our marketing material. We got a lot of communities that do some networking, and that gives us the opportunity to network with those communities and talk about what's working on their front when it comes to economic development. So our team, we did pick up some very good information during that, and just to kind of hit on a few of the topics of discussion. One of them was unlocking downtown potential, trends and strategies, and that looked at workforce, marketing, and attraction of quality development, remaining a strong part of the community, and many have begun to focus on building strong and relevant economic development programs specifically addressing the challenges facing downtowns. That was an event, or that was a discussion that I was able to attend, and there's a lot of great information that came of that. Another one was the Rural Arizona Business Boom, funding growth strategies unveiled, discover the exciting prospects of locating and expanding in Arizona and their funding sources. So those are the type of topics that were discussed in that one. One that I really liked was powering economic prosperity, the vital role of utilities in changing the world. So it was all three major utility providers in the state. It was APS, TEP, and SRP were there, and they were speaking about the trends coming in the state, some of the things we need to look for, the economic impacts of electricity on job creation, innovation and regional competitiveness. And they also kept a focus on potential electrical shortages, which was something you don't realize, but with some of the changes in the renewable, there are a lot of shortages that are coming out, and a lot of these new companies need a lot of power. And so the typical power needs have substantially increased. So other topics, one was reviving minds, revitalizing economies, mastering public and private partnerships, community growth, awareness, innovative tools, and knowledge for success. And so with that, I also want to give an opportunity for our chairwoman and vice chair to comment on the event and provide any feedback that they might want to. So if you guys have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I just want to say that I probably enjoyed myself at this conference more than I have enjoyed any conference ever. They're always, and I've been to a few, outside of just this commission. They're always a whirlwind of information and a plethora of, people and all of the things. But my greatest takeaway personally in my own realm of business would be that funding one that we attended, and the USDA, and for our area, and the reach, the different aspects of the USDA and their funding programs. I think I learned a lot and hope to be able to utilize that as a resource. But my greatest takeaway, I think I walked away from there very proud of Kingman and the economic development team and what the city is currently doing, because when you're listening to these other small cities and towns around the state where you think Kingman's not comparing to, we're kind of in some areas neck to neck or even leading in certain areas. And it just made me really proud to be a part of our community even more than I already am. So well done, you guys. Thanks for what you do.
Thank you, Tasha.
I'm going to add on to what Tasha said a little bit. I did find the funding with the USDA, you think that means agriculture. That's what that means in my head. But that there's a lot of opportunity for businesses to obtain loans because Kingman is considered rural. And so that's a great opportunity for the community and people, business owners that are either looking to expand their business or open a business here. The power one I did think was interesting to understand the shortages and how that works, that as far as to know that businesses that are locating in our area, that we need to plan ahead for those items, that you can't ask for power tomorrow. But if you plan ahead and allow them that time, the lead time that they need to get the supplies, so that way, business can continue to grow. So I thought those were both big takeaways. Networking at these type of events is always great. We had a good opportunity to hit with a lot of smaller cities. I'd say the other item that was a kind of an eye-opener for me is I've seen in talking with some different cities, they have kind of ambassador programs in their downtown area that I thought was interesting and definitely something to be explored in the future.
Great. So I also like to open it up to the rest of the commission for any questions you guys might have on that. And just to follow up, we do these conferences, and we're going to have additional conferences coming up. We've got a spring conference through AAD, so we'll be following up with the commission, looking for commissioners that want to attend. We do have a budget to have a certain amount attend, so we can discuss that. So we'd like to have you keep that in your mind as we reach out to you guys. We do think it's very valuable, and it gives you a lot of insight into economic development throughout the state. So with that, I don't have anything else on that item. I appreciate your guys' time on that.
Yep, so definitely share with me if you are interested in possibly attending the spring conference, so that way we don't have to wait. That's really one meeting away, so because it'll be between the first and second meeting in the quarter.
Yeah.
So if you would be interested, that usually falls in April.
Yeah, in the spring, sometime in April, late March. And what I'll do is we will send those dates out and see what kind of interest we have from you guys.
Yep, thanks.
You're
Do you
welcome.
want to move to item C? And I think
Yes.
that's Terry.
Yes, let's do that.
So that's, she's going to give us a report on the I-40 trade port.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. I just want to take a moment to give you an update on the I-40 Trade Port Corridor. This is a program that back in March, we were introduced to the Economic Development Team, and the Airport Administration staff started working with I-40 Trade Port Corridor partners, and a consultant from Global Logistic Development Partners. And we started working on what was called a Regional Infrastructure Accelerator Program through the U.S. Department of Transportation. The program is part of the U.S. Department of Transportation's Build America Bureau, and it supports projects that will have significant impacts on both the local and national logistics and transportation systems that are available. The partners that we're dealing with are Bernalillo County and Sandoval County in New Mexico, along with the village of Los Lunas, New Mexico, Winslow, Arizona, the Port of Los Angeles, Atlas Global Development Group is working with Winslow, and the Global Logistics Development Partners, which I'm going to refer to as GLD partners here in the future. The lead agency for this is Bernalillo County. They are acting as our administrator. They have put together an MOU, and that is an agreement with the U.S. Department of Transportation. The application deadline was at the end of March 30th, and we got the application in on time. There was a humongous response from all over the country for this Regional Infrastructure Accelerator program, and it took them a while to decide who was going to be awarded some of the designations. But on October 13th in the afternoon, around 4 o'clock, if you heard some weird sounds like a tooting of woohoo, woohoo, that was me hollering from the airport. And because we got the designation and were told about it. It was pretty cool. We had been waiting for it to happen. So along with this, it gives us the opportunity to develop relationships with other partners, the private trucking industry, rail service providers, other logistic companies, clean energy companies, and risk capital investors. So this map that you see up here is part of the I-40 Trade Port Corridor. As you can see, it comes out of the Port of Los Angeles, and it goes all, the red is I-40, goes all the way across the country. The 3 black lines indicate the 3 hubs that we're anticipating being involved with this trade port corridor. They are strategically located for EV fueling at this point in time. They start in Kingman. We will be the first stop out of California. This is very important because this is where this whole push for the green fueling is coming from. And then the next is Winslow, Arizona, and the Albuquerque area in New Mexico. This is the first part of this designation. They hope to push it out to Amarillo, Texas in the future. So the I-40 Trade Port Corridor seeks to establish a logistics system to enhance efficiency, cost savings, and reliability for shippers and logistics companies. We aim to develop local transportation hubs, which I just told you about, create jobs, and boost public revenue for economic growth. The transportation hubs can include rail transloading areas, a truck mobility clean energy fueling station, cargo storage, truck transloading areas, and manufacturing, and it hopes to increase the manufacturing industrial businesses in the area as well. It serves as a model for national cargo and investment network for both public and private interests in mind. GLD Partners estimates that this project is going to create about 60,000 direct and indirect jobs throughout Arizona and New Mexico. The project will create industrial infrastructure in those 3 main key locations, Kingman, Winslow, and Albuquerque, and we're looking to see what that's going to help in our area. And the objectives here are that it's going to improve the national supply chains efficiency, bring things back on shore, boost the economic competitiveness, particularly in our rural areas here. It should decrease the traffic on the I-40, as well as road condition and the maintenance while enhancing public safety. And it should encourage and wants to encourage those relationships between the public and private sectors again. So why the I-40? It's a crucial connection point from the Port of Los Angeles, which is a major Western Hemisphere seaport. And this is a vital link to transport goods from the Asian markets to the West Coast seaports, and then out to the fastest growing US markets, which are in Texas and the Southeast. So that in an effort is to bring back on those onshoring again. The I-40 has been known to be the fastest growing corridor, transport corridor right now, and it is anticipated to continue to grow that way. Many of the supply chains depend on this corridor for its efficient operation and direct routes. So the RIA designation provides a platform for the corridor partners to collectively seek federal investments from various U.S. departments for trade port projects. The Build America Bureau can provide extra funding to support the corridor with project financing. The corridor projects partners aim to strengthen their relationship with the U.S. Department of Transportation and anticipate securing additional phases of the RIA program investments in the coming years. It promotes, again, those private and public partnerships and investments and opportunities. So what are the major driving forces behind this program is our proximity to the Port of Los Angeles, our current and future rail opportunities, and the future 760 acre Phase 2 Industrial Park release of land from the FAA. We had a lot of support in Arizona. Senator Mark Kelly, Senator Kirsten Sinema, Congressman Paul Gosar, Northern Arizona Council of Governments, Mojave County Supervisor District 1, Travis Langenfelter, Mojave County Economic Development, Mojave Community College, Kingman Unified School District, and Laren Incorporated are just to mention a few. That provides my update for now. Do you guys have any questions about that?
Just one question. Do you know about how many tractor trailers transit I-40 in a day, roughly?
I do not. Do you have a number on that?
I don't have it separated out by truck and trailer on the top of my mind, but it's somewhere around 30,000 vehicles. We could probably get that number, though, through ADOT.
Okay. Is there some intention then that some of this trucking could be transferred to rail?
So there are a couple different thoughts here. Yes, the rail is one option, and we have extended our hand out to Patriot Rail, who is now our short line provider within the industrial park, and we are making introductions with them with the GLD partnerships. We are hoping that will extend the transloading areas for rail, bringing in and out. And there's also the opportunity for different types of trucks coming in and out. Being that we're the first destination out of California, there's going to be a need for some kind of clean energy fueling station that we are going to be providing. And before the question comes up, I'll answer it. So one of those green energy fueling options is hydrogen. We do not anticipate manufacturing it here or storing it here, just having it as a fueling option, just like you would diesel fuel. Anything else?
What is Kingman's obligation? I mean, so are we talking signs on the road? Are we talking?
No, we intend to build a truck mobility station where there's green energy fueling. And with that, there will need to be transloading off of the rail or onto the rail and onto trucks.
So I'm talking about the designation. So you're going to build that, and that's going to be part of the designation. I guess I don't understand what it is. So they say that we're a hub for trade, and then who's they?
So our partners in this.
Okay.
And again, those partners are Bernalillo and Sandoval County in New Mexico.
So each place, I'm sorry, I didn't
No,
mean to
it's
step
okay.
on you. So each place supports the other place, in other words, is what you're saying, kind of a
Yes,
thing.
it's
Okay.
intentional that we're going to have the 3 logistic hubs.
Okay, and then I guess I'd like to get more information from you.
We're in the early planning
Yeah.
stages right now, so there's a lot of questions that we are kind of waiting on as well. We just know what the intention is to make a more efficient logistics
Okay.
system.
Supply chain.
Mhm.
That makes sense, definitely.
And Terry,
Um,
can you go over the amount that was awarded?
Sure.
Oh, there's money?
Yes, there was a
Oh.
grant for $974,000 that has been awarded in this first initial stage. With that, they're doing the planning, the consultants are working and reaching out to different developers. They're working, I believe they're working with engineers and developing concepts. We know that they have a consultant that is part of clean energy fueling on board with their consultant team. Did you
So
want to add any?
this is the feds giving money to create the designation.
A better
Okay.
logistics system, yes.
Okay, okay. And is that split between all three?
So they haven't said how the money's going to go out at this point in
Okay.
time. I know that
All right.
part of it is bringing some of it to lobbying to get more of the funds. The one thing that is integral here is the Build America Bureau, because what that system entails, and I know that it's more than what the simple thing that I'm going to tell you right now,
Okay.
but it's a financing system. And what they want to do is hopefully use that to encourage some of the financing for some of the projects along the way.
Okay, that's clearer. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, are you assuming that the 760 is where it's going to go?
Assuming, okay, so 760 acre
So-
land release, is that
So
what you're
not
asking about?
necessarily. A location hasn't been selected
Okay,
yet.
well, in their master plan on that 760, they show rail loading, offloading concept. And I didn't know what the purpose of that was at that location. If not, I don't know if these are the same consultants or not.
Yeah, so that purpose is for the future, the interchange. That's where the product will be brought into the industrial park as the main area of entrance. Currently, product is brought in by rail through that Y, and it's really not the best, most conducive way to bring it, because you do have some roads that are blocked and things that happen currently in the park. So that area for in that plan for the 760 is just a new interchange proposal as part of that. So, but going back to your question, those hubs haven't been selected on the exact locations. That's in process. That's going to be part of this whole process that we're going through right now.
Well, these intermodals take up an awful lot of acres.
Yeah, they're probably like 30 acres
Oh, I would imagine more than that, but
to
that's,
start for
yeah.
the first component, and, growth out from there, so.
Any other questions?
got all kinds of questions.
Let's have lunch. Thank you.
Thanks, Terry. I think, Josh, you're up next with the tourism billboard contest.
Thank you, Chairwoman McGeish, Commissioners. Nice to meet the new ones here at today's meeting. I don't have slides to share with you. This is going to be more of an oral report on what we found and get a little bit of direction from you guys. So at the last meeting, Commissioner Sixta had recommended maybe we look at doing a photo contest to use for our graphics on our 3 billboards. We've got a billboard on 93 as you're coming into Kingman from Las Vegas, a billboard on I-40 as you're coming into Kingman from California out by the Nucor plant, and then we've also got one coming in east near the Wallapies, and each one of those currently has our drive-through shield and kind of a welcome to Kingman, and we've also got space on those to announce events that are coming up, and we've been using that, rotating those on a regular basis. With our new concept, we came to the commission asking for ideas and what sort of graphics you'd like to see, what kind of messaging you wanted to have. So the contest was brought up, and it sounded like a really good idea. I just asked that we wait till we get our festival put to bed before we go into that. I looked on the internet and found a few different samples of contests that were out there. The best one that I found, because it was really comprehensive with rules and also categories, was one that the Smithsonian Magazine does, an annual photo contest. So I used that, pulling in some of the rules that they'd had in that document that I used kind of a template to put something together for us. Was obviously the contestant must submit an agreement notifying that they're the sole creator of the image, that they own the copyrights, that they'll provide any model releases if those are applicable, and they'll grant the city royalty-free distribution rights. The photo must be ethically captured, so no baiting wildlife, looking at safety, no unaware subjects, that sort of thing. Unedited digital files only. We can make enhancements, but we don't want people to present things that are already grotesquely changed, and that's something that we can't undo, as well as no images that are used with artificial intelligence as the source content creator. Then we have certain specific file requirements. These are 48 feet wide billboards. We need a certain number of pixels in order to utilize images to effectively use on a billboard, and then that entries would be submitted electronically at choosekingman.com. So with that, what we have, since we have 3 different billboards, we could actually have 3 different categories. We could have a category that is Route 66 themed. We could have a category that's our historic downtown or history themed, and one that is our outdoors recreation. And those are really the big pillars on what we promote Kingman with. So that would give us an opportunity to use each one of those billboards and kind of hit different messages depending on the area that people are driving in from. Bennett and I had several discussions on this. We talked with Jim Hinckley about it, and he had mentioned a photo contest that he did at the Ramada in 2016. This was the 90th year celebration for Route 66. He coordinated that with the general manager at the time, and they got quite a bit of publicity out of making it a national contest, not just a community contest. So we thought if we opened it up, we might have more opportunity to generate awareness, get more excitement about it, and then also get a lot of photographers out there who have come through Kingman that we may otherwise have missed. So that's what we're presenting to you, is that we open it up as it could actually be an international contest to get really great shots that people have got, organic imagery from the Kingman area. And then we can identify the parameters for each of those categories and what we'd be looking for out of each one of those. So the questions that I'd have for council is, we do have a budget for photo library development, so we could identify a cash prize along with this, because we would be purchasing the rights to use that. And if that's something the commission would entertain, then we can discuss that here, or you can give us direction to do that. Also a time frame. I'm thinking we could look at maybe February. It'd be a leap year contest, since we've got a leap year February, and that would give us something to kind of give it a theme, but also make it about looking ahead to the centennial, the Route 66 centennial, and also appoint a commissioner to be on the panel of judges. So we discussed if we wanted to have the whole commission be the panel of judges, just because of open meeting laws and the restrictions we'd have in trying to go through hundreds, potentially thousands of entries. We thought it'd be a lot better to have just a small group of judges and one of the commissioners be on that, have our new city manager be a member of the judge, Bennett and or myself, and that small group would decide which images we'd select for the winners.
This all sounds great to me, Josh. Sounds like you did a lot of work on there. Go ahead.
Sorry.
Commissioner Sixta.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for considering this. And I think it'll be so amazing. And I will volunteer on any committee or whatever to promote this and support it, obviously. And so I think you've done a great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for the concept.
Yay. I like that. So what's the first
So
question?
direction, do you want to appoint someone to the commission? Do you just want to direct us to finalize the rules and prizes, the timeline? Or do you want to give any direction on what you'd like to see in any of those areas?
I'll jump in. I would like to do that. Or everybody. I don't care. I would like to be a part of it, though. Well, I think you're doing a great job. That's fantastic. I'm really impressed.
Thank you.
And it's appreciated, definitely.
I do think that if you've already had money budgeted for that photo library and it's not going to take away from what you already have there, that seems like a good fit for that. But I think that having gathered our input, that if you have enough direction, that you can go and run with it and make it happen.
Okay.
Without having to come back to us for approval there.
We can definitely do that. I guess the only request would be to appoint someone from the commission to serve on the panel of judges. Yep.
If you're interested, raise your hand. So appointed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Bradley, we have you back up here for the mixed-use conceptual plan for city-owned property.
I don't see Lisa, can you, I don't see that report on here. Files, maybe it's under files. I don't see that report. It's on the desktop. Just minimize that. Let's go. Oh, this might be behind these. So there you go. All right. That'll work. So we wanted to also go over this with the commission as well. We did present this to council on the 24th of October meeting. And so city management originally initiated this project and placed it into economic development's kind of wheelhouse. And we worked with an engineer on a concept plan around the 150 acres of city-owned land adjacent to what would be the future Kingman Crossing property. So the economic development team, we went through an RFP process in this, and we selected a group called Selberg and Associate earlier in this year. The subject properties are two parcels APN 322-63-001 and 002, actually three parcels, and then 003 as well. So the intent of the concept plan was to show, oh, am I not sharing this? Let's see. There it is.
Hit F5 and it'll get full screen.
F5, Josh? I did that. It didn't work. Let's see. All right. So the intent for the concept plan was to show investors, developers, retail and business opportunities, a concept of what uses could exist on the existing zoning, which was KC PDZ. And the concept plan would not be used to market the property, but as a visual tool to show what uses could be attracted to this location. The concept plan is not finalized site plan tied to any specific uses. It can be changed when a commercial developer in the future or a prospective retailer is interested in the site for potential development. So the existing Kingman Crossing intergovernmental agreement between the city and KX Ventures LLC has restrictions that do not allow us to market the site. And KS Ventures also has a first right of refusal to any prospective retail or commercial development for commercial property directly across from the I-40 for the subject property. Our team basically sees this property as a location where the community and travelers can shop, and placemaking spaces for entertainment and quality of life amenities create public spaces that contribute to the community's health, happiness, and well-being. So with that, you know, I know I kind of talked about a few different things in regards to what we can and can't do with it. Keeping in mind it's just a concept, you know, that we can use for the development of future. It was really a preparation. So the first process was this, what's called a bubble map. And we presented this to council, and council gave us some feedback based upon this. And so we are in our next step is to take that council's direction, take it back to the engineer, and work through the more finite details of that concept. So that's what we're in the process of doing right now. We anticipate at our next commission meeting we'll be able to show you a more defined you know, layout of these amenities on this site. So with that, I just want to open it up to any questions. We want to make sure that if you guys hadn't been able to see the council meeting, you were aware that, you know, number one, the city owns 150 acres adjacent to the future Kingman Crossing, in which case there are going to be future development opportunities for commercial and retail possibilities.
Bennett? Do you know if the city is planning either a sale or a lease of the property?
They haven't decided on either or at this point. You know, I think it's, my opinion, is easier to sell than to manage leases on those type of items when it comes to commercial and retail projects, have the city have to manage that. But, you know, we'll see when that time comes. You know, with the developer, there was some comments from council on looking into lease versus sale, and so that will get brought up in the future.
Was this done in partnership with KDX so that they are aware and have some agreement there since they have the first right of refusal there?
They weren't part of the discussion in regards to this layout. No, so their first right of refusal would be around if somebody happened to come in and say, we're interested in doing something on this property, then they would be able to put it on their site if they could work out an agreement with that project. So that's what their first right would be, like, okay, we want to work out something on our property with that developer or that client. If they're not able to, then, you know, the project could move forward on this site.
Question? I'm not clear on where this is. Is that Prospector right down the middle?
So if you know where the hospital, the new hospital is, it directly across the freeway is this property.
So the south side?
Correct.
This is the south side.
Yes.
And,
So there's a big hole, kind of like a
well, yeah, that's how
hole
they
in
made
that
the
area,
40.
and yeah.
That's why ADOT gave us the
I
whole.
don't know.
So is there an off-ramp on here for the south side?
No, not at this time.
So what we're doing is making a concept drawing of the 150 acres that ADOT gave us, right?
Correct.
And we're cutting it up to show what would fit there if it was.
Yeah, different uses, different retail, hotel. The city
I
was looking
understand.
at, it's kind of hard to see it because
How-
it's small, but there's council is talking about the differences between a event center and a recreational center and whether or not this could be a potential location. So again, it's a concept.
So how do you get there if there's no off-ramp?
So the off-ramp
It's
is in
future?
process
Okay.
of being developed. I believe the plans are 95% complete.
You mean for Kingman Crossing, the plans include the south side with an off-ramp now? Because I wasn't aware of that.
Yes, I believe it does include
Hmm.
ingress and egress from both sides of the freeway.
Yeah. Okay. It didn't,
Yeah, I don't.
and I
know
don't
what-
see it on that map.
So that
Okay.
white
I'll take a look.
area is the road.
Yeah. I
That would be the
understand.
road that would connect to I-40.
Yeah, but if you can't get off, I mean,
You'll,
Okay.
you will be able to get on and off.
so the interchange is going on the north side when the hospital owns the 10 acres, and then we know other developers on the other one, and that is already designated retail. So what we're doing is kind of jumping in and saying, you could put stuff here too, kind of thing.
Just
Right.
looking at the layout of what the city does have, and we as economic developers, we know what our needs are, what we'd like to see in the community. Not only for shopping, but, what does the city need for parks? What does the city need for other activities? And is this a potential location to put those city amenities?
So is that road down the middle, is that Seneca, or is that Mojave Drive, or what is that? It's just the off-ramp, it's just how you access it?
Yeah,
Okay.
off the top of my head, I don't, does any of the commissioners know what
Yeah, I
that
think
road
it's
is?
called, Bennett Boulevard, if
Yeah.
I remember correctly.
Yeah, John Bennett Boulevard,
Yeah,
not Bennett Bradley.
That's a good name, easy one to remember.
It's
John.
interesting you would say that we've looked at this, we've developed ground, and to think that there wouldn't be an off-ramp or access from the south side off of 40, I don't know why we looked at it. That was the reason it was brought to us. So that's interesting. Yeah, there has to be.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, it's a typical interchange.
in
you
the
know.
ADOT design build, at the beginning of Kingman Crossings and Rattlesnake Wash, there was not a
Well,
south.
maybe somebody wised up.
You're
because
right, and
they-
originally it didn't have that, but
Yes.
it is there
Because
now.
I was
Yeah.
like, why not? I mean, why are we just doing one side?
Are you going to make any suggestions or recommendations
Oh,
on
I'm sure it will.
use for the other 150 acres that sits the hospital ground?
No, they've got their own site plan that they have worked on, and they're currently working with potential users for those properties.
Okay, so this city council, these 7 people think that leasing it is an option.
Well, they wanted to see if it is an option, which portions, what makes sense, what do other cities do? That was part of that discussion.
You get a developer and you sell it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's, sale is, what's been done mainly in the past in other communities and throughout the state.
So directly south of there is 2 640s that are cross-check each other. And then there's a lot of private land out there. So I don't know about right away. Anyway, I would be interested to dig in and see what it's all about. Thank you for your presentation.
You're welcome. Any other questions? And I'll bring this back when this plan is more in its finalized form that we'll have. So appreciate your guys' time, and
Bennett, I'd appreciate if you could just email around to the commissioners
the map, yeah.
the map itself, yeah.
Absolutely.
You didn't have to do the whole presentation.
Yeah, we could do that.
Okay.
We'll do that.
Thank
Okay.
you.
You're welcome.
Okay, we're on to-
Chairman?
Go ahead, Sean.
Hi, how's everyone doing today?
Doing well. How are you?
Good. This is an exciting time for Kingman right now. There is a lot of stuff that does have to be looked at and reviewed, but having grown up here and seeing what is going to be added to this city, there's some logistics we still have to work through by all means. But I
Absolutely.
appreciate all your input today. You guys have done awesome. But just look forward to some very exciting things coming in. We just got to fine tune it, that's all. So I just want to thank you all for your service, being part of this, and we will do our best to make sure our constituents are happy. So thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Noble, it's you for the tourism report.
Yes.
Okay, so this is a report that I'm going to be giving to council next week, so you're just getting a little preview, since about the last time I gave a report to them is about the last time we met and I had a report to you. This is going to go over a, let's see if I can get go down. I'll go this way. Okay, some of the, just kind of giving an update according to some categories. This is kind of a concise update. It's not at all all-inclusive, but we're going to go over some of our marketing promotions, visitors and our gift shop sales, the Route 66 initiatives, film and media, and events. So we did finalize our Arizona Office of Tourism Marketing Cooperative is about $100,000 in marketing value. Half of that's paid for by the Arizona Office of Tourism directly, and then half of that's through paid for by us. This included 14 different campaigns and resources, such as a strategic planning program that I'm going to be going over with you at the end of the presentation here. But also we had print, which is 35%, digital marketing 46%, trade shows 5%, and then 14% in the research and resources. One of the things that we did in our marketing is we worked with streets. We designed these Explore Kingman street banners. These are up on Stockton Hill Road now. They're to go with our Explore Kingman branding that we have out there and show people the different things that you can do in our community, including golf, hiking, mountain bike riding, motorcycling, ATVing, and we have some others that we're going to be working on in the future. And then we relaunched ExploreKingman.com back in July. This integrated Google Places API, so we actually have the Google Business and Attraction, their Google, profiles assigned and tied in with our website. That way, because we work a lot with our businesses to update their Google Places listings. So when we do those updates, automatically updates on our end, so we're not doing double work. Also more user-friendly navigation features, a simpler backend. The CMS is the custom management software interface that we have for updating, adding pages, events, that sort of thing. Then we integrated maps with points of interest and then embedded content translation. So at the top you can actually have this translated in a number of different languages and then browse through the website and read it in those languages. And then updated images. We've got so many new things in Kingman, from the drive-through shield to things that are going on downtown, new businesses, that we really needed to get some updated imagery to really showcase what Kingman is about now. Our visitor traffic by quarter. So this is since 2018, And you can see that the red line, there was a big spike there in 2019. That's when we had our highest year. 2019 was the highest year, 2018 was the second highest, and 2022 was the third highest. 2023 is set to outpace 2018 and 2022. That may have had a lot of traffic in 2019, but also know that that was a lot of group tours that came in to use the restroom facilities and not necessarily visit the museum or expand out into the rest of Kingman. So that was more quantity than quality. And you'll see that with the next slide. This is our gift shop sales by quarter. And so you can see that 2019, although the gift shop sales were pretty good, 2022, we outpaced 2019. 2019 was 299,000. 2022, we did 332,000. And year to date, we're at 362,000. I anticipate us making more than $400,000 in gift shop sales before the end of 2023. Year to date, that is outpacing 2019 by 39% and last year by 29%. So that's really going a long way to help subsidize the staff, the cost of all of our programs, and the marketing that we do. Our main source of revenue is bed tax dollars, but this is a pretty good chunk as well. We also did so kind of our Route 66 initiatives. We attended an all-community meeting in Winslow back in August where we met with members from all the different communities along in Arizona, as well as members of the Arizona Office of Tourism. The Centennial discussion was a big part of that. Later on in December, we're going to have our initial meeting with members of the different communities via Zoom to discuss what sort of things we want to look at with the commission. I believe the state still doesn't have a plan. They don't have the MOU signed with the Arizona or with the feds. Each state has to have a memorandum of understanding signed in with federal government. As of my last understanding, California and New Mexico were the only ones that did. Once Arizona has that, then the State Office of Tourism can work through the governor's office to identify a working group, and whether that's the State Route 66 Association who held this meeting, or if that's just in tandem and maybe a little bit different, remains to be seen. But we're going to continue moving forward so that we can start planning for things that we want to do on the community levels. Another initiative was working with the Route 66 Association of Arizona to put in the Guardian Angel of Route 66 exhibit. This is an interactive artificial intelligence program where people can come up and they can ask, pose questions to a virtual Angel del Guidio, and then he gives them responses. So it's about the resurrection of Route 66, growing up on Route 66. Angel was born in 1927, so he's just 1 year younger than the route. So it's a real interesting perspective, getting someone's whole life experience along the road. And he's also the gentleman that started the whole revitalization of Route 66 back in the 1980s. Not only do we have that, but there's also this wall where people can go up and post messages to Angel or experiences about Route 66. And there have been hundreds of these put up. I think hundreds of them taken down too, because we have to moderate them. But there's a lot of messages in all kinds of languages. You can see here, this is a screen capture when we're using Google Translate to translate what people were writing in other languages so we could identify things to keep and things to take down. Then we're also acting as the film resources coordinator for the city of Kingman. We worked with the clerk's office as well as IT and public works engineering to develop a permit process for film projects in the Kingman area. That's one, to help us handle and manage, and then we can report on what sort of projects we have coming in, but it also makes sure that if they're having street closures or if they are bringing in large crews, that the other departments in the city are aware and that everybody's kind of on the same page. Media and press assistance, we've also been assisting with a lot of travel writers and with people that are coming in to write about Route 66 Arizona getaways. A lot of these come in through the Arizona Office of Tourism, but some of them contact us directly, and we work with them to help provide content going out into different markets. So in June, I'd met this tour operator at the IPW trade conference in San Antonio, Texas, and he had a editor of Portuguese travel magazine. They wanted to come through and do a Route 66 tour, and they were coming in just like a week, so we had to coordinate, try to find, some different things to assist them with their accommodations, everything while they were here. So sometimes they come in through our meetings, and sometimes they come in through the Arizona Office of Tourism, but we do quite a bit to help with media assistance in the Kingman area. So events is another big part of what we're trying to assist with. This was the second annual Route 66 Ultra Run. This is literally an ultra marathon. They ran 140 miles from Seligman through Kingman to Topak, all in one go. So this year, the men's record was 28 hours and 64 minutes. I'm sorry, that was last year's. This is, then the women's record's 31 hours, 49 minutes, and then a relay team record, 26 hours, 34 minutes. We're real excited about this because it brings not only a few of the people to the road, the runners, the support staff, but it also generates more awareness for Route 66, us having the longest remaining stretch. And so it's something that we're trying to support other event coordinators with their events. And we had our third annual Kingman Route 66 Fest in October. So this is the last 3 years. So for this last year, we had 47 vendors. That doesn't include 5 that signed up and didn't show up. So shows on wheels, we had 120 cars, about 50 motorcycles, and then we had 15 vintage campers that showed up for the tow and show. We had pinup contests, graffiti sign contests. This year we added in a Cadillac Ranch experience. We actually set up the templates like you see there with the young man painting the Cadillac, and they can come in and have the experience like you would in Amarillo, Texas. We had a chalk artist, a caricature artist, and those we're trying to build this as an artistic event, make it something that's unique and different than other Route 66 festivals across the country. Then of course, beer garden, live music, host photographer, all the different things to create the ambiance that you'd expect coming to a festival. So in 2021, our first event, these numbers are pulled from Placer AI. That's that mobile device software that we use to identify where people are coming in from, how long they're staying. It estimated we had about 5,300 attendants. That was 2 full days. Average hour was 339 people, peak attendance of 1,800. And the time they spent there, about 77 minutes, and then about 13% came from more than 50 miles away, and 4 states is what we captured. Last year, about same number, but we did get rained out for most of the second day, so actually I had an average of 986 people per hour, peak attendance of 2,300, average time 75 minutes, and 13% from more than 50 miles again from 7 states. And I think the peak attendance in here is on 2023, that I might grab the wrong number, that seems a little bit off, because we actually had 2 full days, 9,000 in attendance, so there's a lot more that were captured that came into the event, 500 per hour, 94-minute stay time, so people were staying longer and they were experiencing different things because all the new things that we'd added in. Again, about 13% is what captured from outside of 50 miles, but we were capturing 15 states this year, so it was really bringing in more people from further out and further away. So as we grow this event, we're going to keep watching these metrics. So I wanted to kind of pull a comp set on other Route 66 events throughout the country. This is looking at the top 10 from, found a pretty good list of Route 66 events. There were probably about 50 of them on the list, and we really kind of zeroed it down on the largest ones throughout the country. And I, from what I can tell, now this doesn't include some rallies, so like the fun run, I can't geofence the 150 miles between Seligman and Topak and say, oh, those people came to the event. So there's going to be some rallies that may have more attendance. The fun run is the longest running event, and that's on only 66. There's some other ones, one in Texas that themes itself Route 66, but it's off of Route 66 as well. So I think this is a pretty good list. It's interesting to look at not only the actual numbers according to Placer AI, our software that we use, but the self-reported attendance. So the Route 66 Cruise and Reunion in Ontario, California, it does seem to have the most. It's a 2-day event. They had about 41,000 people that came in. They said they had about 150,000. They do have 7.8 million people within a 50-mile radius of that event. So that all make sense why they'd have that many people coming in. Then the birthplace of Route 66 Festival in Springfield, Missouri. That's a 3-day event. It was first held in 2010, so they have had about 10 years. You know, we all had a couple years during the pandemic where we didn't host things. They reported 65,000, but they had about 21,000, still a pretty respectable number to come out to the event. 21% coming from outside of the 50-mile radius, and they have about 700,000 within the 50-mile radius. Route 6 Summerfest in Nob Hill in Albuquerque, New Mexico. They don't report on any numbers, but they had about 26,000, so that's pretty good. International Mother Road Festival in Springfield, Illinois. They report 80,000. They had about 24,000. And those are really the biggest ones. And then from that, all the other ones are pretty comparable. The Rendezvous back to 66 in San Bernardino, it's a 1-day event, but almost 12,000. Route 66 Heritage Fest, this started up the same year as we started ours. They're in their 3rd year, so they're doing pretty well. They said that they had about 30,000, they had about 11,000. Berwyn Route 66 Car Show in Illinois, about 10,500. The Route 66 Street Drags, about 10,000. I think overall they had about 13,000 visits, but that was 10,000 visitors because they had some repeat visits. Then the Route 66 Fest, we had about 9,000 people. Then the Road Fest in Tulsa, Oklahoma, that's sponsored by AAA, had about 5,600, or 88,000. 8,800 is what actually captured. They actually self-reported 5,600, so maybe a little bit lower. That's all I have, and be happy to answer any questions with that component. I do have some more, but if you want to ask me any questions on these, I'd be happy to answer them. Okay?
Wait, I have a question.
Yes.
So does Route 66 still have their lease on that small area in Powerhouse? Okay. And do they determine what we sell? The city of Kingman? I know there was an issue where
They don't determine what we sell, but we do try to not compete with one another, and so we sell product that there are some items in our gift shop that have Route 66 elements. They're mostly, you know, Kingman, Heart of Historic Route 66, or Kingman Route 66.
Yeah.
But most of what we carry is usually Southwest themed, American made, and other items. Just so that we have 2 different offerings in the building.
Okay, just wondering.
Just to give kind of an update on hotel performance, year to date, we've had about a 70% occupancy. That compares to 74% in 2022. So we have seen a light reduction. We were anticipating that going into this year. After last year, we had all the revenge travel. But we have a average daily rate, 4% increase from 92.61 to 95.95. So that's kind of flattened out, you know, that loss. The Kingman Heart of Historic Route 66 neon sign, I think we've discussed it at this meeting. That's the sign that we're renovating. It was originally a wedding chapel sign in Las Vegas on the old strip, and we're renovating that into a Kingman Heart of Historic Route 66 sign. It's going to be about 200 feet to the east of our drive-through shield, and we're anticipating a Valentine's Day dedication event for that, so keep posted on that. Then the Kingman Travel Guide 2024, we're working with Local First Arizona. We worked with them on a different project and still had a balance of funds in there, so we're utilizing their graphic design and reaching out contacts to help us build that brochure and work with more of the businesses in Kingman so that they can also be highlighted in that brochure, so that when we're sending that out, we're really getting a good flavor for what Kingman's about to people that are looking for information on our area. And then the last thing that I have is the strategic plan that I was discussing. We are working with Carraggio Group. They're a consultancy out of Oregon. This is through the Arizona Office of Tourism to build a strategic planning program for Kingman for our tourism sector. So we have a planning group that's working on this. Chairwoman Geesh is part of that, as well as Jim Hinckley, Bennett, myself, and Desiree Paulson, who is our visitor center coordinator. And then we've got stakeholder surveys that we've developed with Cargio Group, and you're all going to be receiving that survey. Those will be going out next week, and it'll be open for 2 weeks to give information on what you see as our challenges, what you see as our most utilized assets, how it is to work with the team, a lot of different questions, really trying to gather what our strong points are, what our weak points are, and then build a program as we head into the centennial to best utilize the assets that we have and build on those that are kind of a weak link. And with that, that's my full presentation, so
That
happy to
sounds
answer
great.
questions.
I just wanted to say thank you for the work you've put into the signage and that marketing aspect. You can see it around the city, and it does make an impact. It looks really good. So.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome back to the podium, Terry.
Thank you very much. So this is an update on the industrial park and what we've been working on over there. We have recently met up with the new management for Patriot Rail and have been in conversations with them about coordinating their people that come to them regarding rail and meeting with those clients as well, so that we can integrate both of our services a little bit better and easier. They have a new team on board, and they are fabulous to work with. And we've had a lot of good results so far, so we're excited about that new opportunity. We have a couple different projects going on for expansion within the industrial park. One is at Insteel. They are in the process of purchasing and putting together a piece of equipment that is 4 times the size of what they have. They had a piece of equipment that was destroyed in transportation, so they are waiting on receiving the replacement for that piece of equipment, which should be coming in sometime in December, and they should be having that all put together and be up and running in January. Lamenco has submitted plans for their current facility to increase that by 80,000 square feet. Is that correct? Yeah. And they've gotten the plans back from the county. I'm not quite sure where they're at in reference to that, but we do know that they are getting ready to expand. We have, we try to keep the content very fresh on our choosekingman.com website. And we have, in the past, we received 7 new testimonials earlier this year. We got an additional 3 just recently, including some from KRMC. And we have posted those onto the website as follow-up from the fall forum, and thank you ladies for your suggestion while we were there. We did put the USDA grant rural business development information on our website. You can find it under doing business and business support on the website under the menu. And I suggest you go and check it out because it's like the lead thing under federal government business development support. We've been continuing to do project tours and submit projects to the Arizona Commerce Authority. We have had a total of 9 since the last time that we've met with you guys, one of which came directly to us, and we are in the process of processing an application for purchase of land. So we're seeing where we're at with that. We're taking it step by step. We have to go through an RFP process, which is going out to bid to make sure that we have the right fit for the industrial park. So we are also working on a rail impact report. We've been working on this for a little while, and we should have this tied up, done, buttoned up by the end of next month for sure. The final summary of some of the information has gone to the artistic design portion at this point. We have a new marketing video that I would like to take just a moment to introduce to you guys. So I'm going to share the screen one more time. Let me get this.
Welcome to the Kingman Airport and Industrial Park, a thriving hub of economic activity nestled in the heart of Arizona. This dynamic business park is home to a diverse range of enterprises, each contributing to the growth and prosperity of this community.
My name is Doc Weininger. I work for Allo Fiber. Allo Fiber is a full-service fiber internet voice video provider. My name is Steve Mullen. I'm the general manager at Insteel here in Kingman, Arizona. Insteel is a provider of steel reinforcement products for concrete. My name is Sean Mindrup. I'm the regional vice president of the Western Railroads that Patriot Rail owns and operates. Hello, I'm Scott Brackett. Our companies are all aviation related. We manufacture aircraft air filters, and we also manufacture tow bars to tow your helicopter or airplane around.
My name's Jamie Kerr. I'm the Vice President of Rural Economic Development for the Arizona Commerce Authority.
Located right off Interstate 40, Kingman Airport and Industrial Park offers unparalleled connectivity and transportation access.
What Patriot finds to be valuable about the industrial park is it is located really between Las Vegas, Phoenix, and Tucson, and it's got great highway access between Interstate 40 and Highway 93. And by locating in Kingman, it gives them a diverse opportunity to supply different markets from one location. I-40 is our major east-west location. Getting into California, you have your Interstate 5. The expansion that's going to go on with 93, turning that into Interstate 11. As that project gets underway, that'll be a great north-south transport. The airport does give us quick access. One of the advantages is if you have a next-day delivery, we can go over past 4 o'clock and get it on the airplane to get out of here. So that's a real advantage when you're looking at just in time.
The Kingman Airport and Industrial Park is more than just a location. It's a community that fosters growth, innovation, and collaboration. Behind this success story stands a dedicated economic development team working tirelessly to support businesses.
The industrial park was in the first area that we were building because of the importance of getting the fiber to the businesses that were located here.
The economic development team and I have been working together for about 5 years now on project locates and expansions here in the airport. We try to make sure our job at the Arizona Commerce Authority is to create quality net new jobs for the people of the state of Arizona. Bring your company here, lower taxes, better opportunities, fantastic employment, and just great transportation.
Join us in Kingman, Arizona, and be part of a thriving business community. Discover the possibilities at the Kingman Airport and Industrial Park.
All right, so that is on our website as well. You can find that under Choose Kingman, Kingman Airport and Industrial Park. It's the first slide section on that page. We have been working on an airport marketing brochure as well. We're just waiting on the photography to come in from drone footage that we've been coordinating with a different department within the city to get. And they just have been very, very busy and have not been able to get to it at this point in time. We do have an upcoming thing that we are going to be doing with the Arizona Association of Economic Development. We are going to be hosting the next mayoral roundtable. That is going to be held in May on the 23rd. Our mayor has committed to being there, as well as they have suggested, meaning AAED. I will be on the committee helping with that, but it's the Northern Committee that's sponsoring this, and they have suggested that we reach out to several other cities here locally, and we're hoping to sell tickets to the event and get some interest in economic development here. That's part of the things that we will be discussing. Some of our wins, some of the things that we're looking at, and where we hope to go in the future. So we did apply for an economic strengths program. I brought that to you, I believe at the last meeting or the previous meeting to that. And unfortunately, that was through the Arizona Commerce Authority. There was an overwhelming response to that grant as well, and we were not one of the recipients this time, so we will be applying for that the next time. The grant itself was to repave Transport Way and Government Way. So we will, again, be applying for the next round of grants for that one. I gave you an update on the I-40 Trade Port Corridor. So that's basically the updates that I have for the industrial park. Doug Breckenridge was supposed to be here today, so I'm gonna give a brief update on a couple of items that the airport side of things are doing. As most of you know, they have a DROS program, remediation program going out there at the airport. We won a grant from the U.S. Department of Justice, and it was for $54 million for DROS cleanup. This is a result of over 5,000 World War II planes that were located on the airfield, and that after the war they decided they needed to get rid of them, so they were dismantled and put into furnaces. The aluminum was reused, but the dross that was created from the firing process got buried out on the airport, and it caused problems on the apron for it to buckle under the asphalt. So we got the award. We went out, we got some consultants to help take care of this. We have a contractor, Haley and Aldrich, that is doing all the work out there. And there are 5 or 6 different phases. They are completely through phase 1 and 2/3 of the way through phase 2 as far as excavating. And they have portions of phase 3 and a little bit of phase 4 already excavated. The depth of which they are going is, in some cases, 18 to 20 feet deep. And in some other areas, there's some that are 24 feet deep. Phase 1 has been completely excavated, refilled, and repaved, and that it's going to be in 3 sections for the repavement. They have excavated the majority on phase 2 and have repaved over a portion of that. So we still have phase 3, 4, 5, and I believe, is there a 6? I can't remember. So we're working our way through it. The team has been excavating out there. They have taken the dross out. They put it into canvas bags. They're mitigating any dust or anything like that that's flowing out there. We have, then it's put into rail cars and it's transported out of there to a landfill site. I believe they said in Oklahoma or Missouri, one of the two. And with that, the fact that we spent some time and money and effort developing a transloading area for rail, we have saved the project hundreds of thousands of dollars because we didn't have to have it trucked to a destination. We were able to put it onto the rail and get that out of there. Master plan for the 760-acre parcel release from the FAA is still moving forward. They're in the phase of working on the drainage and the utilities. They've completed the marketing studies, and they only have a few more steps, and then they should be able to give that EA over to the FAA, and then we'll know from there by the end of the year is what the time frame has been looking like. And we should hopefully get some answers back by early spring about that parcel, that FAA land release. Any questions or anything that I'm forgetting?
No, that's good. Thanks.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Terry. Okay, we're going to wrap this up. Before we go, I didn't have a chance to introduce Dr. Wendy at the beginning of the meeting, so if you want to just take a moment and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, everybody. So I'm Wendy Reisinger. I work for MCC. I deal with corporate education, training, and development with MCC. I moved to Kingman about 2.5 years ago from Pennsylvania, so we are greatly enjoying the area, love the Kingman community, and super excited to be part of this commission.
Thank you. We are excited to have you. We're going to do announcements. Chairman Sixta, I'm going to start on your end. Announcements or any requests for reports or anything from staff? Okay. Brian?
It would be nice to get updates on the various interchanges, the I-11, Kingman Crossing, RS.
Get that?
I do know that the city council meeting, every council meeting, they do provide an update on that. And council has asked for that. So if we're doing it every quarter, we can assemble what they've updated. But the best way to get the most current information would be through the council meeting for that.
Okay. Then we're going to adjourn. Thank you, everybody.